that Brown Motzi, whom I think you said you do know him.
Did I say?
Brown Motzi.
What did I say?
I said, you must correct me that you do know him, or you know of him, Brown Motzi. You're nodding yes?
Yes, I know him.
Yes, you know.
Yes, I know him.
Senzo Mchunu seems to be intimidating the evidence leader as he struggles to stop stuttering as he asks the question. Well, he makes the statement rather. You said you know Brown Motzi. And what does Senzo Mchunu say? What did I say? What did I say? Now, what did I say? Senzo Mchunu, you got to take it down several notches, okay? Senzo Mchunu is giving the vibe of Puma Silwe, outside on site, okay? Let's continue listening on. I wanted to highlight that moment because that is very much unprofessional. Very unprofessional. In fact, it is quite scary. How do people work under this man?
My question is, would it bother you that you issued your directive, it appears at 5:20 on the 31st of December 2024, is that right?
Yes.
Thank you. Because that we picked up from, I think, the affidavit of Masimola. So would it concern or bother you that at 10:38, Motzi sends a WhatsApp to Kat Matlala indicating, and I quote from the WhatsApp, the task team that came to your house and arrested you has been dissolved / disbanded, exclamation mark.
10:30 on the same day.
On the same day. On January 1st, Motzi informed Matlala.
On January the 1st?
Yeah.
Okay.
That he would be meeting with you and Lieutenant General Sabia. He says in a text message, "Good day, I've arranged a meeting for Sabia and the minister. Must have a solution."
There are two questions there. The first one is, would it concern me that Motzi seems
Yeah,
to...
shortly after you
yes,
issued...
it would concern me.
It would?
It would concern me, because I wouldn't know how that happened. But not only when my letter found its way into his hands on the date and time, it would have concerned me if my letter found its way into any other person's hand. I would similarly worry how it happened, and therefore the answer is straight. It would worry me. I would be very much concerned. Now, about this meeting, which is my second response, that he would arrange a meeting. It is him, apparently, who talks about that, not me. I never, and I want to repeat, I never spoke to Brown Motzi in this period, particularly about the disbandment. How he got to know, how he got access to the letter, it is better explained by him. And that will be the only time that I would get to know how it happened. But about this meeting, there was no such meeting on my side. It was never communicated to me. I would know what the meeting would have been about. I never spoke to Sbia about this meeting, that there was a meeting that was imminent between me and him, that I had sent somebody, and nobody ever raised the issue of a meeting between me and Sbia after the letter of directives.
Well, I know we've been complaining that Shadrach Sibia over talks and talks and talks and talks, but in that talking, we were getting some juice and meat out of it. The disadvantage we have here is Senzo Mchunu does the complete opposite. Okay, he answers the question and puts a full stop. It's like, okay, can you give us a little bit more? Can you give us something to work with? But basically, I want to highlight a couple of things that he pointed out. So first of all, he sent out his letter at 5:20 p.m. 31 December 2025. The shame, dictator. But anyway, then Brown Motzi sends the same letter to Ket Matlala on the 1st of January 2025. At 10:38, I don't know if it's PM or AM, but that's when he sends the letter telling him the team that came to your house has been disbanded. Okay, and you guys already have heard this multiple times. And then he also tells him, I have arranged a meeting between Shadrach Sibia and the minister. Well, he says Sibia. If I was Shadrach Sibia, I would just deny it because he didn't say Shadrach Sibia. But anyway, we're not there. But then the minister is asked, Senzo Mchunu is asked by the evidence leader, would you be concerned? And he says, of course I would be concerned. I would be concerned because I don't know how my letter found itself with Brown Motzi in his hands. And I would be concerned not just because it's Brown Motzi, but I would be concerned with anyone. And then he moves into part 2 of the question, which is the meeting with Brown Motzi and Sibia. And he says, I never met Brown. I never spoke to Brown Motzi in this period. So he consolidates it. Okay, he puts it in a bucket. That, man, these people can come back and tell me I spoke to him on this day and this day and this day, because those Section 205s are quite telling. Except they don't have his Section 205 because he hid when the police were trying to get in. They did not allow the police to proceed with their seize and search warrant. But so he says, in that period, no, I never spoke to Brown Motzi. So maybe he could have spoke to him on December 30. Maybe he could have spoke to him on December 2nd, on January 2nd. But on the 31st and the 1st, he never spoke to Brown Motzi. That is what Senzo Mchunu is alleging. And then he says, stop asking me how he got the letter. Everybody should ask Brown. And that will be the day I found out how he was in possession of my letter that has landed me in this hot soup. I never met with Brown Motzi and Sibia. In fact, he says Sibia. He says Sibia 2 times. He doesn't say General Sibia. And to me, that is telling of a very, very close-knit relationship. He never says Mkhwanazi. He says General Mkhwanazi. So that just tells you there's levels to this thing. He's comfortable calling Sibia. There's a term of endearment there. But yeah, and then guess what? On the topic of Brown Motzi, yeah, Brown Motzi just got raided. Well, I wouldn't say raided. The police showed up at his business premises. I don't know why they went to his business premises. Does Brown Motzi not have a home? Everybody else was visited at home. Well, I guess because they're not tenderpreneurs. But anyway, Brown Motzi today, while Senzo Mchunu is also talking about Brown Motzi, the SAPs were out there visiting Brown Motzi. I think they like the element of surprise. I think SAPs likes the element of surprise. They're not the ones to make appointments at the doctor's office. They don't operate that manner. They like to show up. And boy, oh boy, did a crowd gather. And not just one business, 2 business premises that they went to visit Mr. Brown Motzi, but nobody saw Brown Motzi, and they are neither confirming that. What was the purpose of the visit? Well, the purpose of the visit was to check out, I assume, is the same search and seizure, because everybody wants to know, okay, how he is getting all first of all, how did he get this disbandment letter? So I think it's quite interesting that they're only doing those investigations now. That's the part for me that's quite alarming. So police are at the business premises. This is from Sowetan Live. Police are at the business premises of Brown Motzi in Northwest. National Police spokesperson Brigadier Omate says the visit is part of an ongoing investigation into allegations that have emanated out of the Parliamentarian Ad Hoc Committee and the Madlanga Commission. No, the allegations, hello, this spokesperson, the allegations started on the 6th of July 2025. That is when the nation was introduced to Mr. Brown Motzi, who is neither a policeman, a minister, or anything. But he's inside parity within, deeply with everybody. But this is definitely a developing story. I'll be back with more updates. Please remember to like, to comment, to subscribe. I'll catch you on the next upload. Bye.